To be here with you guys today. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's no CBA deal. The players don't want to agree to what the owners are proposing. Perfect. Grab Asia Wilson, grab Sabrina, grab Sophie, grab the superstar, the main attraction, Caitlin Clark, and let's start this.
Something unprecedented is happening inside women's basketball, and it all centers around one name: Caitlin Clark. As the WNBA faces labor chaos, frozen contracts, and an uncertain future, one player's position has quietly become untouchable. While negotiations collapse and the league teeters on the edge of dysfunction, Caitlin Clark's future is not only protected, it's being strategically secured. And the details behind that shift reveal a power struggle that could redefine the entire league.
Wouldn't notice the difference. Nobody would say to themselves, oh wow, the talent has really dropped off this year. Nobody's going to be saying that. In fact, they'll be saying, wow, it's real calm this season. There's not so much complaining and whining going on this season. Start fresh with players that deserve money and with players that can.
Last week, the WNBA officially entered uncharted territory. The collective bargaining agreement expired without a replacement. No extension, no deal. The result? A complete moratorium on league business. Free agency frozen. Contract negotiations halted. Teams legally unable to operate as normal. 84 of the league's 86 veteran players are technically free agents, but none can sign. This isn't a lockout. It's something more dangerous, a league stuck in limbo.
What you guys think in the comments section below. Like the video and subscribe. These players are so committed to the downfall of their own league. They've tried forever to get noticed by the mainstream. In comes Caitlin Clark. Finally, they get noticed. They've tried so long to get paid what they think that they're owed. In comes Caitlin Clark. Owners actually see someone that can make them dollar signs and they say, you know what?
For nearly 3 decades, the WNBA survived on subsidies, patience, and long-term belief. Profit was always promised, never delivered. Until now. In 2024, that equation changed overnight. Caitlin Clark's arrival triggered a measurable surge in attendance, television ratings, sponsorship interest, and national relevance. Games that once struggled to break 500,000 viewers began crossing 2 million. For the first time in league history, ownership saw a realistic path to profitability.
Players believe that they're entitled to more money. The old guard fans have brainwashed them into thinking that they are entitled.
The Indiana Fever transformed from a mid-market afterthought into the league's primary draw. Road games sold out. Merchandise demand exploded. Corporate sponsors who previously ignored women's basketball lined up. Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, Wilson. The numbers were no longer theoretical, they were immediate. And for ownership, one truth became unavoidable. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. She's an economic engine.
And Women's National Basketball Players Association have reached an agreement on a moratorium for league business, sources told ESPN on Monday. The moratorium is necessary because the sides failed to reach an agreement on a new collective bargaining agreement or an extension of the previous one by Friday's deadline. The sides continue to negotiate on a new CBA amid what's become a bitter impasse as they work toward what both sides acknowledge will be a transformative deal. They remain far apart on several key issues, including chiefly what a revenue sharing system should look like. Now, is it really bitter on the owner side? Probably not. They think they're going above and beyond with some of the things that they're willing to give.
Behind closed doors, owners responded with something they had never offered before. Maximum salaries projected to exceed $1 million. Average salaries jumping past $500,000. Minimums doubling. League-wide charter flights. Improved accommodations. Enhanced benefits. Compared to the 2023 average salary of roughly $113,000, the proposal represented a historic leap. Ownership believed this was a fair trade, massive investment, but controlled growth.
Players are bitter. because they think that they're owed something that they haven't earned. The players are bitter. The players have things to lose. Well, not all of the players, but the players in the negotiating rooms, Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. They would love it if WNBA folds. Unrivaled gets some players. Maybe that league turns to 5-on-5. They already see a future for Unrivaled. Brianna Stewart earlier this weekend said, oh man, after it's so hard to compartmentalize. I mean, after the games, then I gotta go and take emails and phone calls and take places on this and take places on that. Wouldn't it just be easier if that league didn't exist anymore? That's what she's saying to herself.
But the negotiations stalled on one issue: revenue sharing. Owners offered to increase the players' share from 9% to 15%. The players demanded 30% of gross revenue, before expenses. That difference represents hundreds of millions of dollars over the life of a deal. Ownership argues that such a structure could bankrupt smaller franchises. The players argue the league's newfound value demands it, and both sides believe they are right.
Massive increases in compensation is still being bargained. All but 2 of the league's veterans and free agents this offseason in anticipation of a new CBA. The moratorium will halt those initial stages of free agency in which teams would seek to deliver qualifying offers and core designations to players. Just start fresh. Just start fresh. Call up Caitlin Clark and say, hey, Cece, we're moving on. You want to play in the WNBA? You could be our first player. Call Sophie. Hey, Sophie, you want to come play in the WNBA? You'll be our first player. What are the steps to just tear that up and start new? Seriously, fans won't care. Let me rephrase. The fans that actually move the needle won't.
Here's where Caitlin Clark's future becomes unique. While the players negotiate as a collective, ownership views Clark as a structural pillar. Her drawing power isn't projected, it's proven. Any future CBA, any league reboot, any expansion plan quietly assumes one thing: Caitlin Clark must remain central. In a league frozen by disagreement, her leverage is absolute.
At this point, many of those folks are saying, just lock them out. End this nonsense. Shut this league down. We are officially at the point where this bargaining and negotiating, it's turned into a pileup on the side of the road that people are now paying attention to. They don't really have an invested interest in it. They're just paying attention to because it's a pileup on the side of the road. This league is it's losing steam. It's losing steam by the day. If interest levels were here when Caitlin Clark got here, dude, they're here. They might even be off the screen now. If interest levels were here when Caitlin Clark arrived, they've fallen off so fast. People don't even want to watch anything that doesn't have to do with Caitlin Clark. No one cares about Unrivaled. No one cared about the playoffs. No one cared about the finals. Oh, but the ratings. Yeah, but the ratings were inflated. Nobody paid attention. You look at Caitlin Clark games, you look at Indiana Fever games, and you look at non-Caitlin Clark games. There it is. Said it. Right there. This league has lost momentum, and it's all because of the players. Unwillingness to negotiate. Unwillingness to compromise. The owners have done their part, and as far as I'm concerned, move on without the old guard. Hire whatever attorney you can to make that possible, and just do it. If not, just shut it down.
Privately, some executives have floated the unthinkable. If the current system collapses, rebuild around marketable stars. Not publicly, not officially, but the idea exists. And that reality exposes a tension no one wants to say out loud. Not all value is distributed equally. Caitlin Clark's presence changes negotiations, timelines, and risk tolerance in ways no previous player ever has. Training camps are scheduled to begin in May. Rosters must be built. Schedules finalized. Media partners activated. Every week without a deal increases the risk of delays, or worse. The league insists talks are ongoing. The players insist progress is being made, but the gap remains wide. And looming over every conversation is the same question: can the league afford to stumble just as it finally captured mainstream attention? Caitlin Clark's future is no longer uncertain. It's strategically protected, but the league around her is anything but stable. This moment will define whether the WNBA capitalizes on its breakthrough or fractures under pressure. One thing is clear: the era of pretending all leverage is equal is over. And how the league handles Caitlin Clark may determine whether this growth moment becomes a revolution or a missed opportunity.